Okay, so here we are a couple weeks later, and we just had a couple of good rains, and we've had a few days of cool April-like weather. You know what they say, April showers. And take a look at these bad boys. Oh, yeah! What? What? So from the last time when I trimmed these all the way back down to the ground until now, these things have been growing like crazy. Look at the green on that. This is that Christmas fern. So beautiful. It's always nice to feel like you're doing a little bit of help, letting the plants do what it is they want to do best, which is grow and thrive. And they just love this dank, wet weather. We also got, remember our friend, sweet shrub, the Cali Canthus, maybe? Yeah, it's coming in everywhere, and there are a few spots that I planted it around the garden last year, and they're starting to come in. I just cannot get over this. Look at that thing. It's beautiful. Nothing like a perennial fern. Gotta love it. There's also something I want to show you in the back, which I planted in a pot last year, and right now looking really good. Okay, so last year I got some, it was labeled red clover seed, but I think it's Scarlet Clover, because those two are different. I believe from what I've been looking at, this is Trifolium incarnatum, and it looks like this. Look at this guy. Now I put these in a pot, and they were kind of slow to go. I put them in the pot back in autumn, and it took them a little while, but they survived the winter, and they just grew and grew in this pot. Now check this out. This is what they mean by trifolium, 3-leaf, right? But look at that flower. I mean, that is really spectacular. That is something else, isn't it? And that it gets big and hairy. Look at that guy. Woof. Man, such a beautiful color on that. It really adds a nice pop of color to our little patio back here. I have heard that Trifolium incarnatum, also called Scarlet Clover or Italian clover, is really good ground cover. They use it for feed for livestock, and that it is edible. It is medicinal. I hear that the seeds, or I've read that the seeds and the flowers are edible. So what you could do is pluck that right off. Look at that guy. That's amazing, isn't it? The camera's focused on me, the wrong thing. But apparently that flower is, you could pluck that off and put it in a salad. That would really make your dish look spectacular. Apparently it's got very high protein content, and of course this is obviously a fiberful plant. You might see this growing along the sides of the roads, but I just truly put it in a pot because I've heard that it can be rather invasive if you don't control it. So with things like this and with things like mint, I tend to keep them in pots rather than let them just run rampant all over the garden. Although it wouldn't be necessarily bad, as long as you just keep an eye on it, trim it up, and of course, eat it. It's really feeling nice and beautiful, like an April spring day here, and I'm so happy to see that so many of these flowers are growing. And we have a number of little grape hyacinths here behind me, and there's camellia back there. A lot of really good stuff. Haven't yet planted in the garden, but I picked up a few plants today that I'm going to incorporate. I just had to show off this bad boy because look how beautiful. I mean, the red on that is truly stunning. So I might give eating one of these a shot here at some point. What are you getting into? How's your garden? All right, so just one more thing. Take a look at these Columbines. Aren't those pretty? Beautiful little flowers. And they popped up just a little cluster of them right here next to whatever this is. I don't even know what this thing is called, but that's a beautiful little flower as well. But yeah, these Columbines, Aquilegia in the Ranunculaceae classification. I don't really remember putting these in. It's got a very, very soft leaf. Look at that interesting leaf. Very soft. It almost feels like it's made of silk or satin or something. And then that flower which hangs down and has all that all those beautiful petals. It's such a nice little flower and easily recognizable. A family friend was over and looked right at it and said, "That's a Columbine." I think what happened was I threw in to the wall here last year just tons and tons of seeds from a wildflower or a flower mix, and just trying to get more things growing here. You can see our coreopsis. We have a lot of coreopsis coming in this year, and they haven't bloomed yet. But some of these things took all year. They didn't sprout up last season, but are now starting to sprout up this season, including these beautiful little dudes right here. And so I've really been enjoying this. We have a few more little clusters of them growing throughout the wall. As you can see, the wall is getting very, very pretty. There's a couple tulips in some pots there, and there's our friend Prunus persica. But I just had to show these off because they are just one of the gems of our garden this year. So pretty. And I didn't even know anything about these flowers. I have no idea really if they're edible or anything at all, except that they sure do look nice. And these must have come as a part of that seed pack, which if you ever find yourself with a patch, I suggest buying, if you have a patch of dirt that you're wondering what to do with, I suggest just buying I think there were something like 200 different flower seeds in this little pack of mix. And so I just opened that up and just tossed them at random all throughout here. And so now this year we're starting to really see some beautiful things come up. Oh yeah, look back here. You can see that's probably another Columbine coming in as well amongst this Vinca major. That's a Vinca right there. That's really, really pretty. Yeah, so we've got a lot of things. Ooh. Here's another Columbine. Yeah, you can recognize that leaf. That leaf is easy to recognize. And it's growing amongst this, whatever this little blue flower is. I think that's some sort of Chinese flower. But yeah, a lot of really good stuff coming in. And this, like I said, some of this didn't grow last year. I threw it down last spring and it sat and sat and sat. And then this year we're starting to really get some nice flowers that pop up. It's very, very pretty here. And I'm just so excited. Ooh, look at that. Look at these coming in. Can you see it? Oh, little nectarines. Little nectarines. Now this will probably take a while before those are actually edible or big enough to be considered fruit for us. We got this tree and it'll probably be another couple seasons yet before we're really getting nectarines, but I'm just so pleased. The columbines, the dollar plants, the wood hyacinths, the coreopsis, which you can tell these are going to be massive. These are just going to explode with flowers, and those are going to be big attractors for pollinators, and that's what we're after. We want to bring in the butterflies, the hummingbirds, the bees, and the moths, and the wasps, and anyone who wants to come and partake. So yeah, I am loving it. It is absolutely a joy to see all these beautiful flowers coming in this year. I can't wait to show you more of the stuff that I and my folks will be growing as the season presses on.